Hello and welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that short break. I sure did. We're joined by Nero for the third match of the day. It's going to be Squared versus Outlaws. So, how are you? What do you think?
I'm fine. I think that we are nearly ready to get into the game, but actually looking at the chat, Squared are just finishing another arrangement of theirs before they're able to actually get in here. But yeah, surely Outlaws coming in from the place of an awesome favorite right here, looking at what the other games have been this far. And Outlaws overall, they were supposed to be the number one seed in this group anyway. Now seeing how the other teams are getting crushed, it's just even easier to assume that they will top this group quite well. But Squared is the only team that can yet show some resistance against them, really. And now the question is, would you actually like to see Train once again? Do you think that it was a good Train execution from Squared right there? Because in my opinion, it was rather FTW lacking more.
I'm not sure if we'll see Train at all. I think that Overpass will be banned. I think that after that performance from Outlaws, Squared's going to be scared to play them on Cobblestone as well. And then on the other side, it's like, what is Outlaws really going to ban? I think that they've got a permaban in there somewhere. I can't remember what their permaban exactly is. I'm sure that we can actually find that one out. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't really remember what they don't play. They don't play Mirage. Oh no, they don't. They do play Mirage. I can't remember what they don't play, but Overpower, but they do Outlaws. Sorry, do have a permaban in there somewhere. So they're definitely gonna have that, and it's best of one format. So I feel like a best of one format like this, where it's ban, 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 really favors Outlaws, where they've got such a diverse map pool. They've got a huge win rate on Nuke. Their win rate on every single map apart from Mirage is like really, really strong. And remember that they're playing a really high level of opposition as well. So when we say that their win rate is high, it's not the same as one of the other teams in this group having high win rate as well. So if FTW has a 70% win rate on Cobblestone, for instance, that isn't equal to Outlaws' 60% win rate on Cobblestone, because Outlaws are playing, as I said earlier, the Kingwins, the Pentas, they're playing really high level of opposition.
Yeah, that's true. Although, well, lately maybe Penta's not in the greatest shape. Also, Kingwin not doing as well as overall in their history, really. So you also kind of rate it as some really amazing matches at the same time. But as you say, it's still better. That for sure. And yeah, that's the thing. As you said, Mirage probably not out there. But all the other maps, in my opinion, are looking real good for them. And I always have to say that. I always have to chime in with this. I love watching Nuke, and actually Outlaws are doing extremely good on Nuke. So if by some chance Nuke gets through, I'm quite sure that they will be able to sweep the floor with their enemies right now. Squared right now sitting on 15-7 on their other match, so they'll be joining in about 3 minutes and we'll be getting on the way.
I cannot think what Outlaws permaban is. They play Nuke, Inferno, Cobble, Overpass, Train, and Mirage. What is the seventh map there? Come on, help me out, because this is really bugging me, Nero. I can't even think of it. Cash. They don't play Cash. So Cash is going to be their first ban. It always is. In a best of 3 and a best of 5, they're always going to ban Cash. So Outlaws, like I feel like they definitely could play Cash. It's like, if you think of the like the players, if you think about like their style, it's like Circus and Orpa. Surely he should be able to tear through Cash. It's like what about their CT side or their T side doesn't favor Cash? What do you think about them doesn't match up?
Actually, just first of all, a team that doesn't play both Cash and Mirage, I just gotta love it, because for most of the time that I've been casting, like half a year ago, it's been just Cash and Mirage in every single matchup, and also Dust 2, but Dust 2 was already removed from the pool, so everything's perfect. But yeah, right there, it's just real tough to just base it on the maps alone. For me to just start talking and elaborating on why they would do better or worse right here, because of like the good on T side or good on CT side, does not really change the fact that simply Outlaws is just outright smashing the other teams that are available here in the competition. So it's more about where Squared can completely surprise them. So as you said, Cash and Mirage probably not showing up right there, but maybe they'll just try to look down on their enemies, not ban these maps. Maybe there's a possibility Squared will get a good map for themselves that Outlaws don't like to play, and then get some surprising tags out of nowhere at them completely. I feel like Cash is definitely this one map where you can upset so much, and you can do it pretty one-sidedly if you just start to get going.
I think there's a 0% chance we see Cash. I don't think Outlaws are going to take chances like that. It's a permaban for them. Like in every single veto, they ban it. So it's going to be no different here. Squared aren't going to get so lucky as to get a Cash pick. I don't or Cash even left in past the first ban, first rotation. I feel like Outlaws are probably just going to go with something comfortable like an Overpass or a Cobble. I think if we see Overpass or Cobble come up, then Outlaws are just going to smash their way through. It's going to be probably an easy 16-6. Outlaws probably aren't going to be too phased at all on either of those maps. It suits their style so well with having a static AWPer with somebody who can take those aggressive picks. And I think that we'll probably see Nuke here, I guess. I think that's a map that Outlaws,
really?
they're not afraid of. They're not afraid of Nuke. They're certainly not afraid of Squared's Nuke. So I assume that Outlaws are probably maybe going to ban it, but if they do ban it, it will be a last ban. It won't be like really early in the rotation. I feel like we're probably going to see, I don't know, we might see another Cobble. I guess Mirage could come up, but it's like I guess it's very wide open what map it could be, but I don't see any maps in the whole pool apart from Cash that Squared can actually cause an upset here on, and they're not going to get Cash. Is that the question?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a thing. And as you mentioned, I'm actually quite surprised that you're expecting there's a possibility for a nuke with how well Outlaws are doing right there. I don't think that Squared will actually let that through. And actually, just thinking of all these players, having spoken with the guys from Squared, I also don't think that Nuke is a map that they would like to play themselves, really. It's not a map that they would prefer. They would rather get something more raw, I would say. Maybe Cobblestone, actually.
Perhaps. And then it comes back to the point of like, what can Squared even beat Outlaws on? Because Outlaws is like ranked in the top 40, top 30 possibly of teams in the world. It's a shame that they don't play more LANs. It's like if they get through to the final two, it's going to be really interesting to see how they actually perform on LAN, because when they have been, they've performed up to the par in which we've seen them play like the Hellcase Cup and the Farmskins Cup, making the finals of both of those tournaments. It's a really wide open a field for Outlaws, especially at LAN. I just want to see these guys play at LAN.
I know, just real tough to decide what Squared would be looking for right here. They will definitely be looking for a fair Squared gameplay, I guess. But a map to win, really, it's a tough call. Overall, also, just taking a look at tomorrow's group, what we're going to get right there. Already looking through the teams, because we have Imperial out there, and I feel like we're talking about Outlaws a lot, and we're mentioning right off the bat that they're one of the top seeds for this tournament. You even mentioning at some point that they're top, but Imperial is a team from the very same region, and they're overall seeming a little bit stronger right now with the latest results, and also the names out there are just real huge. So tomorrow we're also going to get quite a bit of some good action there.
Yeah, they're the old EFrag team, aren't they? They're with Victor, and I think like is Spellin playing with them. I'm not really sure who he's playing with, but it's the old EFrag team that won that or got to the final against Hellraisers at that eFrag LAN back in like 2015. It's pretty much the same team all over again. They've been together for years and years, and I absolutely love watching them play as well. We don't actually get to see them play like tons of tournaments nowadays, but like when we do see them play, they always bring a really strong, they're able to bring a really strong Inferno. They've got a great map pool. I feel like Imperial is one of the teams out there who can upset our Outlaws, the other Bulgarian team. Like the Balkan region nowadays really has a lot of talent. And then if you look at amongst the teams that we see next week, you've got Tricked, and then I feel like those three teams are probably going to be playing for the top 3 spots or the top 2 spots.
Yeah, once again rejoining us will be the Russian Namase, and we've got some Polish team qualifying through the qualifiers, of course, right there too, which could be quite interesting because I can tell you already that the players are not too bad, although I just tend not to really believe into Polish mixes too much because the Polish scene right now is just completely mixing over and over again, and it's been like that for years, and they can never really achieve anything big. They just change 4 members of their team actually to try and figure something out. And the one team that it's worked out for was Pride Gaming, and right now they're doing something, but pretty much nobody else.
Yeah, and that's the tier 2 of the Polish scene is all very volatile. You probably know this a lot more than me, that these teams sometimes keep stable rosters, and obviously with the Kingwin getting relegated from ESL, from ESEA, the Premier League of ESEA, them getting relegated into main was a really big problem for them. Oh no, didn't they get relegated from Pro League actually? I think they were actually in Pro League and got relegated from that. But yeah, Kingwin obviously being the bottom seed, bottom placing on the ESEA and ESL leaderboard was a really big stumbling block, and that sort of performance across a whole season is going to prompt roster changes. However, I like to see stable teams, especially stable Polish teams like Virtus Pro. Let's hope that they stay together and regain the form that they've got on a side note. But obviously we've got a game coming up in just a few minutes. It's Squared versus Outlaws, and we will be getting into that one very, very shortly. But just before that, I do want to talk about a promotion that we've got going on. NobleChairs, black in red Epic Gaming chair. You can use code NobleELC for a 10% discount. If you're looking for a gaming chair like the one that I'm sat on now, you can go to NobleChairs and get one of the black and red ones. It's nice stitching and everything. We'll probably have a graphic for you tomorrow to promote that as well. But 10% discount on that one. So go get that right now. But more pressingly, we've got a match coming up in the next 5 minutes, haven't we, Nero?
Yep, and I mean, probably in the next 5 minutes, because there's still a chance, because Squared are playing in another tournament at the same time. They have an official match going out there, and they thought that they were already closing it out. At the stage of 12-6, I also have to mention that, at the stage of 12-6, they said it should be done soon, thus believing that they would just easily close it out, really. They're getting a little bit cocky maybe, but also just having the confidence. So maybe against Outlaws will also have a little bit of effect, but as it is getting closer and closer, I guess they might be getting also exhausted more and more, and the confidence might just be escaping through their fingers. But it is at the moment 15-12, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. Yeah, that's true.
So if they lost a pretty big lead, no, they're actually coming back. In another cut right now against Temp.no. So obviously not really showing up against a team like that. Let's actually see who's in that team. We don't know anybody in that team, so it's just no names. So they are going right up again, like right up to the limit against a team of people who we've never heard of before. How do they face against a team?
I wouldn't say so. You've got Paint, you've got Ants out there, so
some of the players... It's just on HLTV, they're all question marks, so I just assumed that it was just like a random team. It was just like a no-name team. But either way, Squared are going to be showing up here very, very shortly to play against Outlaws, which is a much higher tier of opposition, isn't it? It's a much higher caliber, and you've got to say that that they probably don't stand much of a chance against our favourites here.
Yep, that's very likely is going to happen. The once again a stomp from the side of Outlaws GG. And these are guys, I could just see them in the chat, just talking a little bit out there, just laughing a tiny bit about that. And I mean, they should know what's coming. They probably expect that when Squared comes here from that matchup, they're going to get crushed. And most importantly, it is Train again. So as you were saying, I mean, yeah, I do know the players from Techno, but they're also not like the greatest players out there that if you want to beat Outlaws GG, you should be struggling with them, right? So it is Train, and they're going nearly to an overtime, actually. And, well, they finally got one round for themselves afterwards, but it's still pretty close. But basically, that proves even further that Train's not going to be a good choice, and that it was mostly about FTW not being able to achieve anything, really.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's anything more that we can say about the maps at this point. I think we just have to get the veto nailed, and we have to find out what maps are actually going to be played. And obviously it's best of one, so we're not going to have a like a long 3-map series or anything like that with multiple maps. But after this, after the next game, and then after the consolidation final, we're going to have today's caster challenge. If you want to win some skins, you can type !CME in the chat. You register on ChallengeME.gg. As I said, use the !CME to participate. The first ticket is absolutely free. You can buy additional tickets for 10 Betties each. A Betty earned by just watching the stream for a minute, so not very expensive at all. And the challenger will be picked right before the group final. If you beat our caster, that's me. Looking very pumped up there. You'll have you will win a choice of one of these two skins. It's either a Stat Track M4A1S Decimator Factory New or those Shadow Daggers. So really good prizes for whoever potentially might beat me, but I don't think they're going to win. I think I stand a pretty good chance.
Really? Are you like 100% sure? Because yeah, you do seem confident, but are you like 100% sure you could beat anyone out there, really?
I'm going to kick their ass. I'm going to win pretty bad. It's going to be, I don't know what format we're playing. I don't know if it's like best of 30 or like, I don't know if it's MR15 or anything, but whatever it is, I'm sure they'll get like 2-3 rounds, maybe, if they're lucky. They're going to lose badly, that's what I'm saying.
I'd love to hear what Willie has to say about that. Have you played against Willie, actually?
Yeah, and I kicked his ass as well. I beat him with AKs. As soon as I got my crosshair figured out, I got it. Because I played him at first, but the crosshair, I couldn't actually see my crosshair because it was like such transparent green. It was like translucent. I see Willie's talking to the caster chat. He's saying it's a lie, but I did beat him. I did kick his ass. It was like 8-5 or something, 8-6. Something like that for the last night. As soon as I got my config figured out. So I've actually got my config figured out here. I've got a nice keyboard. I've got my mouse from home. So I'm taking this seriously. Whoever plays me later today is going to have a tough time beating me.
Okay. So I believe that during one of the breaks, actually, somebody's going to come in, edit the config a little bit just to make it a little bit possible, really, to win the skins out there.
I'm going to lock the studio door with a key to make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm going to be against you, actually. I'm going to find some favorite from the chat for myself, and we're going to split the
You're going to split the winnings,
right here.
so you're going to find a professional player.
Yeah.
I didn't actually have time to tell the team this, but I'll tell the team this now. If you put me against like a proper professional player, I'm gonna be mad. I want to get put against somebody good, but it doesn't matter who I get put against. Even if I get put against a really good player, I'll kick their ass. I'll win heavily today.
I'm wondering about actually the players that are taking part in the Legend Series right here possibly would be interested in a challenge like that. Maybe you would get to face off against one of the players from the teams that are participating right here, maybe for someone from a squad. But actually also, just taking a look at the match against Temp, no, apparently it's 16-14, so they lost against Temp now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyway, I can already see that they have another match planned at 10 p.m.
Oh,
So these guys are completely busy today. They're playing one match at Legend Series, one match at another tournament, then once again a match at Legend Series, and then yet another time back to the other tournament. So that's quite interesting to see. And hopefully they're not going to be completely exhausted. They're not going to be tired. And yeah, once again, they're not going to conflict with the schedules here.
An action-packed night for Squared Esports then, but of course, they've got a game coming up against Outlaws, and as we've been saying, I don't know if they really stand a chance in this one. I think that they're probably going to lose as bad as my challenger in the 1v1 later today.
But yeah, that's also a possibility that maybe they're going to fix their schedule a little bit with that, because right now going 16-14 all the way against Temp now, they're going to need a little bit of a break. But then losing against Outlaws is going to put them in the deciders match, which will once again just force them into playing another one just 2 hours from now, if I'm not mistaken. But it all depends on how long it is going to take, because this far we had 16-4 and 16-2, but we're still behind the schedule because of all these setbacks that we've had this far, unfortunately.
Yeah,
once we had to...
Sure.
Yeah, we kicked off on time with Squared versus FTW. Then we had to wait a little bit for AYB. Now we have to wait for Squared again. And yeah, hopefully from now on everything will be fine.
What a mess, Nero. Help me out. I need an alarm clock or a resuscitation or something. I need the Kiss of Life or something like that. I don't know. I don't know right now.
Maybe from the Challenger.
No, they're going to need resuscitation after the 1v1, I'll tell you that much. But in terms of this game, give me a prediction on scoreline.
16-3.
16-3?
Just to, because something between 16-2 and 16-4, I guess. You only got one
something
answer
between 16-2 and 16-4. That gives yourself quite a bit of variance, right? So 16-3. Yeah. I don't actually think that you're that far off. I think that it's probably going to be like 16-6 or something like that. I think that like anything below 16-10 is just a dominating scoreline. And I feel like Outlaws are probably going to post a scoreline like that today. It really depends on whether they win the knife round, what map it is, whether they get that AWP rolling. If they win a pistol round, or if they lose a pistol round, then that's instantly, like it should be 3 rounds. But Outlaws, I feel like they definitely do stand a chance of just another destructive best of one here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I mean, I've tried to hype up the underdogs right here, but I've just been disappointed twice very heavily. So I'm not going to do it anymore. And I mean, no disrespect to Square Esports. I will be really happy if they actually manage to win more than 10 or maybe even the entire matchup. But I'm not going to predict that because I'm not getting embarrassed anymore. And also, one thing that I wanted to say right here is it also, from all that you've said right there, I would like to add that it also depends if Outlaws actually want to play seriously. Depends to what extent seriously they will like to play in this matchup. Because as I said, like in the chat, they're a little bit playful out there. And who knows, maybe they'll want to give a couple of rounds over to Square Esports to just make it a little bit more interesting for themselves, really, because they can afford to do that when they can see clearly that their enemies in this group are not as tough.
Yeah, I don't think that they're necessarily going to give away any like major advantages. They're going to put themselves in any jeopardy for the map. I don't think that they're going to really give away too much in the best of one that we're about to see. But yet again, like we did see them like firing at some bodies. We did see them go for some like meme plays with certain like pushing up aggressively. But I feel like even if Outlaws just like play all out and just like push everywhere on the map and go absolutely ham and absolutely crazy and not even really take this one very seriously, I still think that they would win.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's quite heavy out there, and it makes me really wonder. So we're still actually waiting. We're still not getting into the battle yet. And I don't know, just talking after all this talk that we had about the maps and after all that we predicted, after taking a look at the stats so much, I'm wondering if maybe now looking at the background that we have on the stream, that maybe we're going to get to see Inferno. I feel like it seems a little bit neutral, although I also feel like Squared would like to play it, so I'm not sure if Outlaws will want to allow it.
I think that's a good point. I think that Squared would definitely love to see Inferno here. It gives themselves opportunity to actually break into one of the bomb sites if they just circumnavigate Cirque, ironically, and find their way into maybe B. But he's going to be all over the map. I'm sure Cirque will be pushing into apps, like just straight peeking mid, peeking into banana. He's going to be really taking the game into his own hands if they find themselves on Inferno. And at that point, like, can Squared even win that map? It's like, when I think of all the 7 maps, I don't see any map that Squared eSports are even remotely favoured on.
Except for Cash, maybe, as we mentioned.
Apart from maybe
right?
Cash. Maybe Cash. But even that, like, Outlaws just have such heavy firepower that even on a map that they never play, it feels like maybe they would just win it anyway. Oh,
yeah, and I also
don't
don't think
we actually do have the map is going to be Cash. What? Is this a joke? The map is Cash. So Outlaws permaban.
I'm so happy.
The Outlaws permaban. I literally said, here's a quote from Eating a Squid just a few moments ago. There is a 0% chance that we will see Cash. That's a quote from me.
That quote from you was actually after I said that possibly it's going to be Cash, because that's something that makes the most sense for actually Squared to actually do something right here. I don't know. We'll see. But as I was about to say before you interrupted with that map pick, I don't think that it's going to be so hard to adapt for Terrier on Cash. After all, he's an AWPer. You've got a lot of good AWPing positions on both defense and offense right here on Cash as both terrorists and counter-terrorists. So I don't think that it's going to be such a problem for this one-man army of his. And then the rest of the team just has to chime in, and we could see some real good situations from them on Cobblestone already. There was this one particular person that's caught my eye. It was actually Shibs, who is doing amazingly good on that bomb side B.
Yeah.
So, and he was playing alongside with Nikki, who ended up top fragging the previous matchup. So both of them can be a very scary combo.
That's a good point as well. When you're playing with a player who's really fragging like Nikki was, who ended up top fragging, as you just said, it could be very hard to actually salvage some kills for yourself. But he actually managed to pick up a lot of kills. And remember, a lot of Nikki's highlight plays came from that quad kill that he hit. That was 3 headshots up on ramp, and he was an absolute beast on the B site. So Outlaws just had everything on lockdown. And I feel Cash could be a very similar display.
Yeah, but for some reason they're not playing it, and maybe we'll get to see the reason why. I just can't wait to really find out. And also remember, the next up we're going to get to see FTW Evo RAZER versus AYB eSports, which in theory should go pretty easily for AYB, but the ones that I hyped up before the match against Outlaws GG failed me the most, so I'm also not quite necessarily sure what to think about them there. And here, if you ask me who to really follow on the lineup of Squared eSports, I would say Chev, possibly. I feel like he's got a lot of raw skill out there, and maybe he's once again going to be able to unleash it.
Yeah, we've got to see about that, don't we? We've got to see, like, if Squared is going to take this matchup, and even if they're going to take double-digit rounds, they need 1 or 2 of their players to really step up. And if Chev is the person that if Chev's the player that you're really attributing that role to, saying like, Chev, it's your role, you've got to carry, you've got to actually find the frags, then that's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, isn't it? Whereas on Outlaws team, like everybody's going to have a you're laughing, what's up?
No, because I'm thinking about Chev, like you're actually telling
Chev.
that to him in real life, yeah.
It's like I'm
probably
coaching him. It's like I'm like,
Yeah,
Chev, you've got to be the man. Come on, do it. Like,
and you're saying like you would feel the pressure on his shoulders, and I from my conversations with Chev, he's this kind of guy that sometimes smiles, but most of the time he has a poker face. He doesn't care about anything mostly. He actually understands pretty little English, so it was quite hard for me to communicate with him. So we had to like mix Serbian with Polish a little bit to actually get through to each other. But he's also this kind of guy that I don't know if he's even capable of feeling the pressure, really.
It's just that cool.
I know.
Sure thing.
Yeah,
well, you obviously know these
really...
guys then, so I've actually had no communication, apart from on Twitter, I think. One or two of them actually messaged me about like VODs and stuff, so I've had limited communication with these guys. I haven't actually sat in Discord. Maybe we need to have a night where we have like a couple of drinks, a couple of ciders with Cirque, and talk about Counter-Strike.
On the finals, possibly.
Possibly, yeah, I mean, sure thing. I'll buy him a beer.
Yep, and I can see already on the little picture-in-picture right there that we've got that the knife round is kicking off. In the meantime, I still have to tune into the Go TV in order to get the in-game sound for myself. But yeah, we're kicking it off. And do you think that the knife round will actually have much of an effect, since it is cash and it is this balanced map?
No, I think it's going to have no effect. I think Outlaws going to win, and Outlaws win it anyway, so that's just even worse. But I do like playing to the underdog, but in a matchup like this, I feel like Outlaws, like 16-6 or something like that, 16. Like if Squared takes 10 rounds, I'd be very impressed. Even on cash, even on a map that Outlaws just don't play. I feel like they might be experimenting with it.
Well then, a single defuse kit is available for them out there. One less Kevlar on Squared eSports right now, and I feel like these guys would be trying to depend a lot on the raw skill, as I mentioned. That's why I mentioned cash first of all, and then right behind it, cobblestone being the maps that they would like to play. But also, there are quite a couple of people that are a little bit newer to me, because I, of course, recognize Jordan, I recognize Shevchuk, I recognize Juric, but then Holmes and Davko are a little bit newer to me, so I'm not sure what these guys are actually bringing into the lineup for real. Oh yeah, that's an
that sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it, when Nicky hits a headshot like that, and the bomb has been planted. So Outlaws, yeah, they've been faked away from this A site. However, here comes the retake.
Well, Jordan is hiding around the corner, but already a couple of shots going past him. They know exactly where he is, Ships. And they get NKY actually finding the kills first of all. Chev cannot deal with 4 people running straight at them at the same time. And well, what a retake from Outlaws. But I guess that's what we've been expecting, right?
This is what makes them so good, right? Just the ability to step up all of the time. And Outlaws, I'm pretty sure that they're just going to be rocking and rolling with this one all day. And you see, commonly they're quite weak with the UMPs and stuff, but this time they've invested into 3 rifles, so possibly a much heavier chance. Yeah, they do want to get kills on the UMPs, 600 apiece. It's really great for your economy, especially if you've got a standalone AWPer who needs that AWP in his hands. Obviously, well, Cirque is actually a really good rifler as well. He's so good with the M4, but if he gets the AWP in his hands early, then it could lead to a really strong performance later on.
No, Navco and Chev prepared in the main entrance. They're gonna get a little bit of support from the squeaky doors, Holmes, and he doesn't have the bomb on his back, but Juric does, and he's rotating over to bomb side B, so possibly they're trying to draw the attention away, but now they're falling back from the main entrance. Also, I'm not too sure if they should go for a regular take in this pure eco, really, because they're not going to achieve much. Just planting the bomb is surely their objective, and without the grenades, it will have to be a really good fake.
Yeah, and I think that a fake is a really would be a really important and really... I think it would work for Squared eSports. Obviously, we just saw them fake Outlaws away from that A site. If they did that again, then it could definitely work. Outlaws' rotations would be quite weak. Look at this, just mowing them down. Only 1 kill for Squared eSports. That's going to work wonders for the Outlaws economy. And that was so many kills in the UMP as well. 2 kills on Spellen's UMP. I think 1 on Cirque. So they're already racking up that economy.
So let's see. And now finally the AKs are rolled into the hands of Squared Esports. Some grenades available out there. This time it might be a little bit easier to get that bomb plant for them, but they're not fighting for the plant alone anymore, right? That's a little issue that might show up out there, but there's also no AWP for Outlaws. They're tossing out the grenades right off the bat in the beginning of the round, so they're not really left with too much. And I'm really looking forward to some chances for Squared Esports.
Yeah, this is what we want to see. We want to see them get guns in their hands early, 5 AK-47s, but already Chev taking a little bit of damage. And Outlaws, you see, they're just holding this default, just like they did on Cobblestone earlier, not getting too aggressive. And Spellen, yeah, picking for some information, wants to know if they're going to be charging towards the B site. And remember, if Outlaws actually win on cash, get the W here, it's going to mean that they're supremely confident going into this winners match and the final later tonight. If they are able to beat the number 2 seed on a map that they don't even play, they're going to be feeling like supremely confident.
Yeah, it's starting good, but if it actually proves to be very similar to the previous matches, as I said, with the scoreline of 16-3, then they don't have to care about anything, really. Like, let the low losers bracket play out. We already know that we have the first place pretty much. We just have to show up for the match, really. But for now, nothing's really yet decided. Spellen's going to burn down Nourish after the first kill from Jordan in the favor of Squared Esports. Now they're trading, they're back and forth. One man lead in favor of Outlaws, but picking up the bomb was the greatest idea at that stage, apparently, as they had 2 people up against them right in front of them, and then also one more was coming in from the upper. And they didn't even focus down one single guy, and yet they had some more targets flowing into the bomb site, so they seemed completely lost in this situation.
Yeah, they definitely want to be getting some points on the board very quickly, because if Outlaws gain the economy, roll with that money, they're going to have so many advantages running into the more business stage of this half. And you see Cirque already picking off one frag. Dav, before he even sees anybody, drops, and remember 3-0 for Outlaws, so already getting it rolling. And if we have a look at their money, like 7,000 for Spellen, he can drop Cirque up anytime he wants, and they're even going to get onto this site. It's a spray down, 8k, finishes them all off with support from Ships. 4 kills amongst those 2 players, and 4 rounds for Outlaws as well. All the 4s, 44, I'm like a bingo caller.
So yeah, that just pretty much sums up what it's gonna look like whenever Squared don't have a clear idea of what they want to do in a round. But, well, this is just a single one, okay? They were playing with pistols, everything's fine. But unfortunately, I'm afraid that whenever they have the AKs even, it's not guaranteed that they're not going to run into a straight down like this, because as I mentioned, I was mostly focusing on the raw skill in the hands of Squared Esports, and yes, they do possess a lot of that experience of their hands, but a lot of the players actually also from the previous versions of the game.
Look at this, Cirque's actually going for one of these peaks. Oh, just misses it. Oh, it dies as well. So big.
Spellen getting out of the vents, which in my opinion is a good idea at this stage, because they know that Ship's got one in the middle. So even if they don't know that Spellen's actually in there, they might be expecting Ships, and they will be covering that angle for sure. The bomb is planted. That's looking good. Actually, it's working out quite fine for Squared Esports. They have good post-plant positions. They just have to not screw up.
Yeah, I feel like Outlaws maybe played this one a little too passively, gave Squared Esports a bit too much respect, and now they've got to battle their way back into B. And Chev, he's not going to allow it. Hits a first headshot, an opening, and then changes his angle along through. Not expecting Ships. He's the second man, holds down the spray. Couple of bullets left and finds it. Dav needs to hit one final headshot. Is he going to be able to do it? No, Nicky finishes off the round. 5-0 now, Outlaws. Wow, how did they win that? Like, Squared had to hold that down.
As I said, everybody was expecting Ships from the middle, so they looked at the vents, but they never knew that Spellen was actually inside of these vents from the very start. So when they killed one guy, they instantly let the other one through and obliterate them. So that's what I'm saying. They might be tunnel visioning a little bit too much. And once again, it goes down to what I was talking in the very beginning of the previous round. Even with the AKs, they might run mindlessly into some big spray down from Outlaws just because they cannot really focus on so many different things at the same time.
And that's just Ships finding a massive gap in the defense, isn't it? 5-0 for Outlaws is squared. They need to get back into this game right now, otherwise it's going to be another dominating whitewash for Outlaws. As Ships, he's holding down this mid area. He's got his crosshair pincered on this tight angle, and with the flash coming through, it's going to reassume the angle, find the shots easy, spray down. Chev wasn't expecting it, and squared. That's a man disadvantage already for them.
Well, Dav peeks out and doesn't actually skate Nicky quickly enough, but they knew exactly where Ships was, so was all focused on towards Holmes getting that guy down. Not a bad take at all, and now they're going to be running straight towards bomb site A right here. And KY. It's all down to him alongside with Nicky. Nicky's getting one headshot instead of running away. Oh, blinded by the flashback. Jordan's going to get taken out by Nicky. And, well, Urich finally bust up. It's taking them a little bit too much time, I think. But also, NKY made a huge mistake right there. Urich with a triple kill combined. Come on. But it's all yet over. Look at who's left right here.
It's the man of the hour, the man of the month maybe, needs to pull off another 1 versus 2. It's Holmes and Jurek, and they are playing this one passively. Cirque doesn't know where he's coming from, gets the top angle, boosting up, finds one, looks for the second as well, pistols out. This is how he did it on Cobblestone, but it's not meant to be. Jurek, Nerves of Steel finds it. That's the first round on the board for Squared.
Ooh, so that worked out, but I have to say, yes, maybe Nerves of Steel, but I think there is something wet also in his pants after this round a little bit. And this was a good take by Seria too. It was just such a... He took the opportunity, but first of all made sure that there was nobody else in the vicinity, but he then took the kill, and then was still able to pull out the pistol, and as you said, at that stage it was actually a gamble of who's going to get the headshot earlier. Yeah. But you can never count him out. The 2v1 that he got right there, the triple kill most importantly from Urich, it's not everything. Even after a triple kill like that, they cannot be sure that they've got the round already. And remember, it's 5-1. Outlaws had built up such an economy that they still have a full buy right here. It's Square eSports that lack in this one, having a UMP 45 out there and not even complete sets of grenades. And it can all just turn into an economy break for them.
Here come the smokes and Ships. Thinking about putting down a Molotov, but instead just going to hold the angle, and Holmes going to assassinate him. It's a quick headshot. Speller needs to play this one sensibly. The Molotov's out, but pushes straight through. Jordan doesn't even care about your Molotov, sir. He has to be the man. There's the second for him. Drops the bomb as well. Squared has to contest, has to peek him. But Nicky, he's going to charge in as well. Finds one with a M4A1S. There's number 2 for him. Chev was very low, and Cirque finishes off the job 6-1. And this is why he's such a legend. Moves through with the AWP, and he seems so calm and collected, shutting down the push.
Yeah, Nicky was definitely crucial right there, peeking at the very right moment, getting rid of Urich so that he allowed Seria to still feel very free inside of the bomb site. And yeah, Seria doesn't care about you not caring about the Molotov.
He doesn't care about you not caring about you not caring, right?
Yeah. But what I mean right here, it was an amazing play from Jordan, really getting through the vents right there, but you cannot surprise a man like that. It's always there.
NK takes one in the face on the entry, and Outlaw's got to work around this with only 4 players left. Chips does chip one back. There's a follow-up nade as well, going to do the damage, but just misses. Maybe getting CSGO'd. Cirque trying to peek on through, but Outlaws... Another 4-on-4. Remember, they did it on the B site, and now it's a job on the easier A. And Jordan, he's getting mauled out of this position. Spellin does find the bullet straight into his chest. 3v3, chipping back, trading back and forth, but this boost is going to pan out in Squared's favour. This bomb is still ticking down. Dav does find another one. There's 3 in the round for him, but with 25 HP, what more can he do? And it's the quad kill to finish things off. And remember, these individual plays from Squared have been... why they've taken both of these rounds. A triple, then a quad.
Yeah, Holmes, though, shooting at the flank of Spellin and not being able to hit a single shot. That's what surprised me massively. And had Spellin just pushed in a little bit further so that you would be hidden from the Tech 9 player, would be maybe easier. I don't want to say easy, but he would have broken it down into 2 1v1 skirmishes instead of staying in a 1v2 crossfire, really. So that might have been something to fix for the next round. But for now, they are playing with pistols, so this is probably a free ticket for round 3 for Squared Esports.
Oh, Spellin, so good with the pistols, salvaging an AK-47, and they're coming for him. Right around this corner, Spellin does find another one. Beautiful headshot, so quick. Chev drops, but it's only the pistols once again. Ships has got a deagle, so might be able to do something, but this should be Outlaws down and out in this round.
Yeah, great play from Spellin, but as I mentioned, not expecting 2 people actually.
This is Stewie 2K push. Look at this. That sneaks in, but spots it out, gets the flick. Nice headshot, but that's something that Stewie loves to do. Peeks down, gun towards the floor, sneaks in, and then peekaboo, pops up, hits a headshot, almost hitting it as well. Ships, obviously taking a tip out of the NA book. Obviously been watching some rank ass.
Well then, that's going to be the 3rd round for Squared Esports. Once again, a 4-5 for Outlaws, and this is the crucial one, really. If they can beat down Outlaws again, this match will look even. But if they lose right here and just get their economy broken, then it will probably be Outlaws just dominating over and over again. What a position! It's pulled out by Dab 2.
Wow, Spellin could have done so much with that. And here comes the push. B completely compromised as Outlaws banked everything on that extended push by Spellin. Cert getting naded and mollied out, all of the utility pinstring him out, and Outlaws might have to consider saving here.
Nicky preparing an incendiary. I think he might have caught a glimpse of Dab out there. Not too sure though, but the HE also flies in, quickly needs to target, but then soon enough, Shapes getting 1 kill, back to 4 and 4 points, doing good aim, coming down, but he's still turning out, but Dab was focused on that angle, he saw where the nades came from, and Dab also getting rid of Shapes. That's going to end this round, so yeah, very important of an AWP on his hands, don't want to lose it, and just to live through.
Yeah, he's not going to miss a thing, is he, Cirque, today? 8-5, and I can't remember a single shot that he's missed so far. I think he's kept this AWP alive, like, quite decisively, and Outlaws going to have to play around this one. They've got a couple of pistols bought around it, but no armor from them. It's only Cirque with the AWP, but if there's anyone that you want in this position, it's definitely him. And where's he playing right now? Can we... All eyes on Cirque, I think, is he's got an AWP and he's getting aggressive with it. Might be able to catch one off, but there's the flashbang, spots it out as well. So Squared know how to get away from him right now. Spellin does have a really good angle. This is nice and advanced. So if Squared decides to push towards B, he could catch this one out. Are they going to really check this corner? No, they're going to all walk past him. 1, 2, and 3. How's he going to play this one? Great trigger discipline, but sprays it, misses it. Spellin, what are you doing? And that might be all said and done from Outlaws. Do get the rotation through, but this AWP is nowhere to be seen, and Squared have this site on lockdown.
Oh, that was even close to hitting it through the smoke, but I guess the pistol lucks ran out for Spellin after getting the 1 single play, and he could have used it a little bit better, but no, not happening. So there we are. That's in my opinion, Squared Esports looking very healthy in this matchup, actually. They will get this round. Once again, Outlaws, they were just playing with Soya with the AWP. Luckily enough, they held on to it, but... I mean, it's just looking real sloppy at the moment now.
The funniest thing is, I know 100%. We were watching Spellin with those kills. He should have been able to get at least 2 there. I know for a fact, Willie, one of our technicians downstairs, did a huge face palm. I don't have any info from him, but I know he's shouting at his screen right now. He's shouting like, why? But 6-5 in Outlaws. Maybe this is one of the things about picking cash. They don't seem massively confident on it. In Square taking 5 rounds already. This is almost enough. They only need 1 or 2 for a really strong T half.
Yeah, that's also... I even already forgot of all that we were talking about these maps. It's cash after all. Maybe it is the reason why the Outlaws are not doing so well, not feeling so well, maybe, but I don't know, it also seems like it's the best training for them to play Cash against teams like these, where you can really just gain some confidence on this map, where you can beat down some easy opponents. But also, I come back to what I said about the domestic scene. Squared might know everything about Outlaws, where it doesn't have to be the same the other way around.
Yeah, perhaps that is why they've decided to go for a spoiler map like Cash, because Squared have studied them so strong, because they're one of the better Balkan teams, better Bulgarian teams, and instead they decide to just go for something that they definitely haven't seen Outlaws play. Cash and Squared, yeah, they baited Footsteps away from the A site, but now they might go straight back. Jurek missing the tip of Ship's head. We'll be able to get out of that one alive, but he's still holding this angle down, and Jurek slowly taking this angle, and he is going to nail the shot. Nicky drops.
Well, Holmes is not going to fall himself, and actually, it is one of the first rounds where Squared are starting off with one-man disadvantage, but they're managing to climb back up. Would usually be Outlaws to do actually that. So yeah, bomb planted, Serio all alone in a crossfire. No, he's not making it happen. No.
Wow, that was such a quick shot from Cirque though, to maybe open up the opportunity of make that 1v3 happen. And here comes the pause, it's Outlaws. What are their options at this point? They've probably got to say, I guess, I don't know. Look at this money. It's like such a weird scenario, isn't it? What would you do, Nero, in this situation?
Sorry, just buy an AWP, but I mean, as you're pointing out, and as you were pointing out from the very beginning, even before the matches started in the previous match, Saria is a strong pillar in the lineup of Outlaws. But as I mentioned right now, it's not possible for him to clutch a 1v3. But maybe kick it off with the AWP when he's able to get the entry kills. That's where it's going to work out. But overall, like the best option, go for a force-up right now. At this stage, getting Famasis to back up Saria, I think it would be enough. But the thing is, they cannot be too confident in it because it's just not working as of now.
Yeah, it hasn't been working at all, has it? It's been very, very messy. If we have a look at their, like, what rounds they've won and lost. Yeah, Squared have won 5 in a row, and before that, Outlaws only took 1. So Outlaws took the first 5, lost 1, won 1, and then lost 5 in a row. So they've got to be feeling really shaky now. That's like 2 or 3 solid buy rounds as well after such a strong start. You would have really hoped that Outlaws wouldn't lose that many in a row, especially on their CT side where they're supposed to be stronger. Outlaws commonly have a really strong CT side. It's their bread and butter. When they move to the T side, that's when they're just grinding out the final 4 or so rounds, because they normally take 10 plus CT. They're not going to do that this half. The maximum they can claw together is 9. Yeah,
that's the thing, but I don't know. Terrier's trying to even go aggressive on the CT side right here with that AWP. I feel like he might be pretty comfortable and confident at the same time on the T side too. And overall, they already got the 6 rounds, so it's also not going to be a horrible scoreline, even though we were expecting a very one-sided show, right? So that's a surprise that Outlaws are not leading by far, but 6 rounds are not bad just yet, and they might be able to get 7 to 8. Surely the map is not over for them.
And NK needs to hit some shots, but it's going to be Nicky instead too. They're both headshots as well. And NK's position hasn't actually been compromised yet. Finds one through the sea.
He's still out there himself, and he's getting one. We'll be looking for the kill on Kurdav and gets that one down. Holmes all alone. Also is Spannon already climbing up the cat, and Terry preparing himself to join in the fray. That was easy. That was doable. And yeah, the force-up did work out. The pause was actually called in by the Outlaws. The pause was used the right way. From now on, nothing should go wrong. But if we still go back to Squared eSports playing it evenly against Outlaws, then the pause wasn't able to fix anything, and it's not going to change until the very end of the map. And we'll have Well, for Squared eSports, and luckily another maybe a 16-14 right there, where they will get completely exhausted and they still have to play a couple matches today.
Sure, and then they have to play another one in an hour's time, and then they have to play another one for another tournament in 2 hours' time, and they're going to be playing CS all night, it seems. But Outlaws, 7-6 up. They definitely could claw something back now. And NK, he's going to go for this boost once again. Straight over the smoke. He's got such great vision here. Does spot the first headshot, and he's not falling back. He wants to go for more. Going to get punished by Chev. It's a headshot of his own. And Outlaws, they don't have a really great hold on this A site at all right now. They're losing players left, right, and centre. And that's off the back of Dav. Peeks straight into Jurek and finds it. But Outlaws in a 2v3. It's a 2v3 once again, but this time they've got ships on the flank in Squeaky. They don't know that he's coming either. Holmes, oh, he seems to be actually watching for this one, but 1 and 2, ships with the set piece. Dav does find his third of the round. It's against Cirque. There's the smoke out, but with a bomb planted in a very compromising position, Cirque spots out the knee, clutches it. What a master. He is just nuts.
This is a no-go situation. They knew exactly where Seria was, and Dav didn't even pull the trigger, first of all. Seria, on the other hand, was looking for the enemy and was able to lock him down after half a second at least, and that's way too much time given to the sniper right here. Square eSports, they're losing this round just because of their mistakes.
Do we have to call him Seria now? Do we have to do it? I guess so. I guess so. I like Cirque. I'm not sure it looks for the second, but wow. Syria, Cirque, whatever. He's just rolling this CT side, and obviously that 2 versus 3 there, all off his back, was just nuts.
So Juric will be trying to continue the push with the UMP. I think he spotted out the foot of Spellens, though he might not have noticed it himself.
Yeah, sure. He's not got lots of vision on any of these Outlaws players, so Squared, they've decided to slow down the pace. A crucial 7th round for them it would be, but in a 4v4 they've really got to find another gap in the defense, and perhaps that's not going to happen as the flash comes in. Spellen needs to capitalize, and he does. There's nobody there to trade, but Holmes finds out ships, and Spellen's even spotted falling back at event, so they know that there's 1 or 2 players towards B, and they're going to rotate fast over towards the pointy letter.
That's going to be really close, but let's see what NKI can do. Actually not hit a single shot. Not the greatest start to this situation, but from the both sides we see a lot of misses, and that's quite questionable. But with that kill from Nicky, everyone perfectly aware of what's happening on that bomb site A, that everybody is actually in there, but they're waiting for the rotation. Not really. Spellen is going to get the kill on Holmes before Nicky even gets close, and he's coming in from behind, from the main entrance. Jordan blinded by the flashbang, but not peeking out, not panicking inside of that bomb site, which is important. But then when he tries to go out again, maybe wrap around that red, he's going to get killed off. So yeah, at the end of the day, it is 9-6 in favor of Outlaws, and I don't feel like it's a bad scoreline, especially since, as you said, this is their worst map, and the map that they actually allowed the enemies to play since they insta-ban it.
Yeah, it all comes down to this T side now, right? It's 7 rounds on the board. They would have to get 7 rounds on the board to close this one out, and that is definitely doable on Cash, which has a lot of open angles for the AWPs to take aggressive peeks in. And Squared, it's like, how are you really going to keep out such great aimers? Every member of Outlaws is just so great with the rifles, and looks like a very unconventional strat coming through from Squared. 4 players towards A. Outlaws might get caught off by this one. NK finds 1 and 2. Beautiful shots. Both headshots. Both stunning. And this might open up A for them. As Dab, is he going to be the next victim? No. He's going to pick NK off. End the pistol menace. Oh.
Okay. That's also with a good headshot out there. And yeah, Dav and Jordan, the only ones left. Not much to really say about them, but well, the USBs are still strong. They can always surprise with these headshots, but up close, as they have to get through the smokes, and they know that they have to get into the bomb site and then defuse the bomb, they might already have resigned. But they don't also have, now they are picking up a dev kit, so maybe a little bit of hope is there. Dav getting the headshot on Spellon, who didn't even see that one guy's ran straight into the site, interestingly enough. Those ships doing the very same, coming in from behind, and what a great angle for him. Dav just stuck his head out right there, as if asking to be killed. And that's the 10th round for Outlaws. Great start to this pistol, definitely. Then it's slowed down a little bit. Then it's given the opportunity over to the other side, but not too good at all.
Yeah, we're seeing Vintage Cert right now. He's 14-7. He's died so little times that he's been able to afford that AWP in his hand on multiple occasions, and he might be able to afford it again in the following rounds here. A couple of flashes coming out in squared. Yeah, they need to get aggressive. They need to close distance with the pistols. The CZs, they don't work at long range.
CZs, they are quite strong though, and Square definitely will know how to use the rifles if they just get them.
Yeah, sure, they need rifles in their hands as soon as possible, but force buying into this one means that they're definitely not going to be able to force buy with Famas's next round. It's going to be all on the 4th round, where they're probably not even going to be able to afford an AWP because they've all invested into this one. So Squared might be going for the 5 rifle setup. That might be their strat for the 4th round of this half, and here come the Molotovs from Team Outlaws. They've got their sights trained on the A side.
Oh, Jordan is doing it with the CZ75 falling off the kills, and Chef chiming in with a kill with the Deagle, and all of a sudden we've got a 1v4. Not hitting your shots, not going to save you in this situation. Square eSports. And as the pause has turned it all around in the favor of Outlaws last time, so does this round for Square Esports in the second half. Now they will be on their way to coming back in this map for sure.
Yeah, and Outlaws now 10-7. This gap is closing up very readily, and Squared have all the rifles that they possibly need. We were talking about them actually having to force and like fall back on a 4th round buy, and Outlaws would have been 12-6 up and practically at the finish line, but now it's looking more and more dangerous. Jordan takes a headshot straight through the corner of the smoke, and Outlaws, oh, they're going to get diced up trying to make their way into A. Spellon does find 2, so at least damage. But Dav, is he actually going to fall back and allow this bomb plant? I don't think so. Spellon instead going for the peak and punish for it. 10-8.
Yeah, so smooth until Spellon actually decided to finally do something out there. But for Squared, it's beginning to look quite convincingly, and I love to see that, because it was actually a pretty evened out matchup, but then after the pause, Outlaws once again have gone outrageous and never giving the opportunity actually over to the other team. And also, even when Squared had a big advantage, even when they had a 2-on-1 or something along these lines, Outlaws were able to break through that. Right now, they're not going to have so much mercy. Even now with pistols, now the rifle is going to be so easy. Shev with the triple, Urich with the double. That's some good bomb side B defense, and I hope that it will stay that way. And wow. I'm really happy that we're getting some competition right here in Group A, because it really looked like everybody's just going to get demolished. And
that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that we both actually expected this to be like a 16-6 again. So, and Squared looking like the favourites here on Cash, so Outlaws probably are going to ban Cash for the rest of the night. I don't think that they fancy their chances on Cash after this performance, but now this might be competitive. We might actually see Squared do something here. Spellon taking early damage, but Outlaws, they've gone for this default. You can see that they're always going for this just set execute onto the site, just holding back, waiting for the Squared players to move into their crosshairs, take a kill, and then decide where they're going to go. Maybe force across a rotation. This is very standard Counter-Strike, but it hasn't been working.
Spellon down to 15. That will be dangerous. Squared are really looking to even the things out, so I'm real afraid for Outlaws right now, although I don't know if I should be, because the Bulgarians, they've been dominating this part, so I'm so happy to see Square doing fine. And also, it is a team that's scrambled from players that have not been playing for so long, actually had some huge breaks, so it's good to see that they're even able to fight on the tier 2 level. But for now in this round, they are not. A great opening from Saya with a double kill, then transfer it into an overall pretty much victorious round for Outlaws with the bomb planted on bomb site A, everything perfectly under the control. With just Urich remaining, he has Molly out there, an incendiary, excuse me, that's $600 of course, and additionally a Kevlar with a defuse kit, but that's good for saving rather than for an attempt at this bomb site anymore.
And you see Cirque once again, that was a pinpoint headshot, a pair of pinpoint headshots in fact. He's good with the AK-47, great with the AWP, he's an all-round jack of all trades, and master of all apparently. This is going to be an 11th round for Outlaws as they open this gap back up again in squared. Obviously, let's actually have a look at their money. They've got plenty of money actually. They've got enough money to buy into this one and possibly a follow-up as well. So this is dangerous for Outlaws because it means that they have to win 2 or 3 in a row to be able to force an eco from squared to be able to get some free rounds and stop that CT economy, which is oh so dangerous, especially on cash.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Now Urich looking for an aggressive push with the AWP. Misses the first shot though, and Nicky is so up close. That could surprise them. There's no headshot. He was aiming perfectly at the right spot with the crosshair, but just doesn't go through.
Get CSGO'd, mate. Get CSGO'd.
Well, still, it's somewhat fair as it was through the box right there. He didn't really need to dodge it out. The enemy was completely surprised that he's peeked out from behind the spot. But nevertheless, it is going to be a little bit of an advantage. I would say to Square eSports, they do get a little bit of info. They do exhaust a little bit of that timer for Outlaws. They might have to come up with a completely different idea. So already maybe a little bit of confusion going in there.
Yeah, and Outlaws seem to be playing a much more coordinated game. Might catch... who even is that? That's Jordan. Might actually catch Jordan out. And here come the mollies, the flashes as well, and Outlaws. They're going for a set execute onto B.
Jordan with one more before he falls down. But it's just a 1-for-1, and Chev will be waiting in the back of his bomb site. Strongest support. He has to stand his ground with the problems just carrying him away. That is not going to surprise at all. Rich walking out through that smoke. What I think. Holmes all alone. He's pretty much why is everybody dead?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to retake that.
Yeah, everyone dropped so quickly there, and Outlaws on 12 rounds. We said it earlier that after a pistol round win that they should have been on 12 rounds. It should have been 12-6, but now it's a little closer to 12-9, and Holmes missing shots there with the M4. You can't just spray the head. You need to get one bullet into the head and then spray towards the body as well. Spread out your shots, and he was unable to hit the double dink. Thought that Speller might be a little low. However, that wasn't the case, and 12-9 is the scoreline. And Outlaws surviving with multiple players alive in several rounds means that their bank is really blossoming.
So Saria with the AWP, the rest of the team with the AKs, they're facing off against mostly Stacy's their advantage. Their big one, 3 rounds difference again. The 1 round with Square eSports surprise with the pistols has actually broken through the pattern, but it didn't last, and that's what hurts them the most. But maybe some better positions next time, maybe a little bit of an aggressive rush. It was a good idea from Urich in one of these rounds where he had the AWP. Right now he's not doing anything like it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Outlaws, they seem to be doing the same thing round after round. It's actually been working over the last couple, taking 2 in a row after Squared eSports early victories, and Outlaws seem to be focusing their attention towards mid once again. They've got an AWP to contend with this time though, but Ship's going to find the first frag. Their stab dropping early, and Squared, they've got to find some sort of advantage. They've got to find some sort of opening here, and maybe Spellin and Ships being on 14 HP between them could be that opening.
Oh, Well, the finishers are not flying in though. It's Squared eSports actually falling all over the place. Urich is looking for some possibilities, but all he sees is just his friends' dead bodies dropping down. And now he's on the wrong bomb site even, so I can't even imagine how frustrated he must be now.
And he's got company. Yeah, he's got an AWP in his hand, but NK is right round this corner, and 2 lightning fast headshots already to his name this round, looking to add a 3rd to that tally. And as soon as Jurek scopes in, it gives NK the go. It lets him know, yeah, right, he's right around this corner. And Jurek needs to go for this. NK is playing super passively, and both these players, I don't even know if they know where each other are. And Jurek playing a very passive game, no shadows being spotted, NK sneaking his way in, but Jurek, he's actually going to make his way out of this one, is he? No, NK right behind the knife as well. See you later. None of that. Jurek drops in. It's just totally BM in the chat as well. I don't know if you see it, but a smiley face for you guys at home. 13-9. Put some kappas in the chat, boys.
A single tear has gone out of my eye right now for Urich. I was real sad out there, and I think that he jumped even, so there was a possibility to hear a footstep if I'm mistaken, but whatever, that was just in the corner of the screen at that point on. Anyway, this ends this map pretty much, I think.
I can get back into this one. Outlaws were looking so weak earlier, but 14-9 is definitely going to be the scoreline now. A 3v5 is just impossible in Spella. He's going to rack ball up surely. Nicky supporting fire, but Dav does find one with the USP, but Nicky is just firing range, pistols out, and there's no way Dav survives this. Glock to finish things off. 14-9's our scoreline in Squared. They've got one last chance.
And here we are. One last chance, as you mentioned, but I'm quite sure that he laughed at that situation from him, but it really gets to you.
Yeah, it's got to wind you up.
As I mentioned.
Yeah, it's really gotta wind you up when you get hit with a knife, sorry, like that. And yeah, it's the $1,500 as well, but at this point in the map, it doesn't really matter. Ships with 1 and 2. Oh, this is juicy. Just tearing apart mid and looking for the 3rd as well. Jurek does peek one back, and that's the AWP gone, but Outlaws, they're rotating out on through, and remember Jurek, he's pinched on this B site, now dead. Ships does find one. Holmes tries to hit some suppressing fire through the smoke, but 14-9's the scoreline in Outlaws. If they take this is going to be the map. Squared has to go for this one, and Chips has the headshot lined up, finds it as well. Takes a little bit of damage, but Holmes with an M4, is he, like, what is the correct decision at this point? Falling back, then you concede the 15th round, and if you go for it, you might give Ships an ace. He's hit 4 kills already in this round, an absolute monster, 24 and 18. That's showing the scoreboard because he is just a monster right now, and there's nothing Squared can do about it, even on a map like Cash, where which Outlaws don't really play. We've seen their team chemistry actually be a little bit lackluster so far, but Holmes does find the one. There's Nicky Dunn, but Ships, he's searching redly for this ace. He wants it, and Holmes, he's looking the wrong way. Ships could peek in for this one and find it, but 24 HP, and Holmes does actually sneak his way out. Here's the nade, the follow-up peek as well, looking for it, but no, it goes down. Ace denied. He won't be the first, that won't be the first 5k of the Legend Series. Unfortunate, because we kind of bigged it up, but 59's our scoreline in Squared. This is their final, last chance saloon.
I think I'm back. Hopefully I'm back right here, and this one last round could be what's left right here, really. There might be not more than that. Urich, I have a lot of hopes for that CZ of his, but he's already nearly walking into the crosshair of the enemy's Ulpa. Chev's going to get boosted up, but Shib's going to be taking care of this counter boost actually, so not too sure if they can find any success out there. And he's still also got a Molly, so maybe he'll be using that. But Chev's extremely patient, so it's good to see. Yeah,
look at Ships as well. He actually almost knows that this one's coming. He's ducking 2 and 4th, and Outlaws might actually catch this one off. Has the nade out now, but Chev, when is he actually going to strike? Is it going to be anytime soon? I'm really not sure. Chev, when is the correct time to pounce this one? He's been so confident, and one, he's been so passive, but they might go for the boost here themselves. Outlaws does find it up, a couple of bullets tagged in, but throws the Molotov back, maybe a little bit apprehensive and not too confident. They are going to spray him through the smoke. Ships finds him.
I feel like it was the worst moment for Chef to actually peek because they were preparing themselves to boost right there. So 3 people are looking right at him when he decides to go out right there, and that's going to be about it. When you're on such long range, not this time with the CZ75. And Jordan's all that's left. So I guess that we're seeing there's 69 right here in favor of Outlaws. So at the end of the day, it was pretty close in the first half. But then when they finally got going on the T side, there was no stopping them. So it's not the 16-3 that I said I would expect. This is the 16-9 I expected in our match against AYB, actually.
Yeah. But I guess...
Not close enough.
I guess Outlaws...
the best match.
Yeah, sure thing. Jordan, oh, there's 2, but I don't think he's really going to do this. Spellin finishes the job, and 16-9, as Nero said, your scoreline. And this is before the losers match as well. So our next match is FTW versus AVB, both the losers from the first 2 matches of today. So what are we thinking about this one there?
First of all, I want to underline how I said Ships might be a very important man, and even if Saria does not manage to hold enemies back all by himself, it's going to be Ships, and he ended up being the top frag by far right there. But yeah, let's check out one of this matchup, and then we're going to transfer over to what's coming next. So...
oh yeah, this is the knife. This is the knife. This is NK just slicing and dicing his way through the competition. That was funny. That's super BM. When you get in those positions as well, you don't quite know if it's going to pan out, because knives are, I hate to say it, but a little bit inconsistent in CSGO.
So that's FTW versus AYB coming up soon, and yeah, as you said, the losers matchup right there. I really have no idea what to expect. Normally, on paper, I would say it's AYB who's the favorite, and they should be even maybe by far, I guess. But when we have Asmo, who is not performing at all, then
oh, okay then. So yeah, I think what Dom was saying was AVB are probably the favourites going into this one. I think that we're going to take a short 5-minute break to get over a couple of these No break? Okay, right. We're not going to take a break, but yeah, I don't know if we've got Dominic anymore. FTW versus AVB is our next matchup, though. And remember, the loser of this one gets eliminated. So let's have a little talk about this match. I think... Okay, right. I don't quite know, but... Okay, then we'll just talk about a couple of other things. We've got our NobleChairs. Our NobleChairs, not a giveaway, but discount. It's 10% discount for code NobleELC. So use that and sure. I think we will go to a 5-minute break. We'll be back in 5 minutes for the next match of the day. It's FTW versus AVB. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say